viewers, you're welcome once again to the program State of the Nation, brought to you by Make Your News. My name is Melanie Jewel, and as usual, I'm not alone in the house today. I have with me my guest and analyst for today to dissect the headlines on the front pages of the newspaper in person of Mr. Isaac Olamlekan, a journalist and a political analyst. Good morning, sir. You're welcome on the show. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the show today. I'm moving quickly to the newspaper review for today. We have the Guardian newspaper before us with its lead story that says nationwide blackout. 3 billion naira lost to TCN strike as grid crashes. It comes with riders that say electricity workers suspend industrial action. Two discos issue notices on darkness. Urges communities to safeguard installations. Why we can't generate 5,000 megawatts of power, says the minister. Just below the nameplate, we have headlines that says restructuring won't lead to succession, says Okotie. EFCC raid on BDC operators behind Naira rise against dollars, says Bauer. Antimicrobial agents for treating drug resistance. TB Entel Clinic trials. Rivers women protest against destruction of farmlands by suspected herders. Just below the pictorial here, we have stories that says 8 years after leading Buhari to Obasanjo, Tinubu meets ex-president for own ambition. These and many more stories are found on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Mr. Isaac,
Thank you.
what do you think about this? Nationwide blackout, 3 billion naira lost. What are your takes on this?
Well, my take on it is that in Nigeria, anything goes. We are not strangers to losing money carelessly. One of the ways we lose money is by this issue of holiday. In a year in Nigeria, we have a third of the number of days, a third of the year as holidays. Now, and we lose money through that. Now we have added this electricity national grid breakdown to it. It's not surprising. If people get what they put to themselves. If I'm putting this poll to myself now, it will come to me. But if you want to resist, I will still continue. So that's the issue. We are used to being like a daisical with a lot of things. And that's what we are reaping now. That is what we are reaping now. Because this electricity thing, I don't really know. It was the government that signed an agreement with them. It was formerly PHDC or whatever. Later they said no, they want privatization. They went ahead, sold the electricity generating companies to supply distribution and all that to private enterprises. And they should have had a very good agreement before these people came on board and all that. And then all of a sudden, these people came in now, less than maybe 10 years now, and now we're having this issue of breakdown because there's a disagreement between them and the people there. So it's funny, my sister. It's funny.
Okay. Now, what do you think about this story that says 8 years after leading Buhari to Obasanjo, Tinubu pays him a visit? What are your perspectives on this?
The visit. General Olusegun Obasanjo, who later became Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, he was formerly military head of state, and then he came back later as a civilian president. He has this larger-than-life appearance or larger-than-life assessment by the Nigerian public. I'm saying larger than life because I guess a lot of people feel Obasanjo's endorsement will give them the advantage, especially in terms of election matters and all that. Obasanjo is a relative to me. He's my in-law. I respect him. He's my father. But even then, I have my this thing on this Tinubu's visit. Tinubu took Buhari to Obasanjo in the run-up to the 2015 elections after the conglomeration of the minority parties then to make up the All Progressive Congress, APC. And package Buhari. Buhari is a person, he was a former military head of state. He did well when he was there, minister this, different kind of talk. That Buhari is a person. Now he's taking himself. Buhari that he gave a plus mark to that time, we are all witnesses to Buhari's achievements.
Of course.
His achievement in terms of negative ones. The issue of security. Nigerian roads are not secured. Most especially kidnapping, banditry and all that. I want to tell you something. In the past, let's say 3 years or 4 years, I've not traveled. Why? I can't go by air because I don't have enough funds to go by air. Unless I have somebody who wants to sponsor me. If I'm traveling on my own, I want to travel by road. That's the one I can afford. And I'm so scared traveling by road. I am kidnapped. Who will pay my hostage when they demand for 10 million? Who will pay?
Okay.
A friend of mine who went through such an experience. When he came out of it and was telling me, I was shedding tears for him. What he suffered. I don't want to suffer that. So Tinubu, for people who believe he is the person they should vote for, and Obasanjo has endorsed him, I don't know.
So you seem to express so much disbelief in this, talking about the flag bearer of the APC. So are you saying we shouldn't give him a chance?
Tinubu has, in the assessment of his followers, he has done well in Lagos. He did well in Lagos, yes. And they believe he's the alpha and omega, is this, is that. For me, in history, kingmakers have always been kingmakers. I've not heard of a situation where a kingmaker comes in and then become the king. He's a kingmaker. He is good at sporting talent. I'd rather say he should continue sporting talent and he should stay in the background. He has done so well, so they say in Lagos. I wouldn't know. That's the assessment. But as we speak now, this is a generation now, not a generation past generation. Tinubu from hush talk is above 80. I don't know how much of modern things Tinubu knows about, technology-wise. So many things. And now, this issue of his health. If you want to ask me, I think what happened in 2010, when Alhaji Yaradua, Umar Yaradua, the then president of Nigeria, had to leave the throne because of his health. He didn't leave by leave, he died on the throne.
Yeah,
and his deputy, Goodluck Jonathan, came in to replace him. I think that's the kind of scenario. If Tinubu wins, if he wins, please, that provision.
Okay.
His deputy, Shettima, will take over. And we all know the allegation against Shettima, that Shettima is a die-hard fan of Boko Haram. There was one incident then in Madala, Niger State, just next door to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, where there was a bombing of a Catholic church. The head of that, the person who led that attack, they call him Kabiru Sokoto. He was placed on a wanted list. He was eventually arrested in Shettima's house in Abuja. That's Shettima accommodated him. He didn't tell anybody in the security system. They were doing investigation. They investigated and discovered that he's living there and they brought him. So tell me, now, they are giving Boko Haram insurgents and all that They are giving them soft landing as we speak now, that they can join the army. Their sins have been forgiven.
Right.
If Chetima comes in, will he not do worst?
Okay, thank you so much for that beautiful analysis, Mr. Isaac.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
move on to the next newspaper for today, which is the Punch newspaper. It comes with a lead story here that says, talking about the PDP crisis. Peace threatened. Wike Atiku's men disagree over Ayu. Okay. It comes to a rider that says, Ayu must go for talks to proceed, says the governor's men. Ayu won't resign, says PDP team. That's a response to the first statement. It seems devil has entered PDP, says George, as negotiations disagree over venue. Go to your villages. Elections are not won in Abuja hotels, Wike tells candidates. Moving on to the next story here, it says APC supporters hold carnival as Tinubu visits Obasanjo. ASU begins consultation on next move. A sad one here says great grandma collapsed while climbing Lagos Bridge. Northern youths protest insecurity in Abuja. And moving on to the just above the nameplate, we have stories that says electricity workers call off strike. Businesses count losses. $418 million refund. Governors knock Malami over commission. How transactional firm swindled Nigerians, others of over $3 million. These are the stories that made it to the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Now, just a quick one on this. What do you think about this PDP crisis? Wike, there's a crisis. Different comments, like you heard from the riders, different comments are just coming up. What is your take? What are your perspective on this PDP crisis?
Wike, from all intents, has a grouse as regards the presidential primaries of the PDP,
Okay.
which he lost to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And Wike, from what I know, has been a kind of a strong force in PDP. And naturally, when this happened, he felt he was cheated. He felt he was not given a fair standing as regards that primaries. And since then, he has been on this romance with other political parties, Obi's Labour Party and Tinubu's APC. What I'm getting at is that Wike seems to be fighting a lot of wars. Anytime Wike has any grounds, he ventilates it on the party. It's either his choice, it's either what it says that should stand or nothing else. I don't think that makes him a very good politician. He has governed Rivers well. They say he's doing well in Rivers. I would have rather want him to leave a legacy so that in future, when the history of Rivers is being brought up, his tenure and his legacies will continue to be in the front border. He should know by now that the federal system, the central system, does not favor the South. And why? Because of this doctored population we've always depended on. That population of the North is higher than the population of we in the South. I know, I grew up in the North, that during the time of census, you'll be surprised at the amount of people who transfer themselves across border, who claim they are Nigerians. They are not Nigerians. They come in here, they are counted as Nigerians, and they are counted as Northerners. If this house is a house of Bashika, they write Bashika in their doorpost. You don't, as a census man, you don't enter Bashika house. Nobody can enter. It's only the male member of the house that can come out and tell the population census people that in this compound I have 1,000 people, you don't argue with them.
Assumptions.
They make assumptions, you accept it, you write it down. So that has been on for a long time. And you travel through a whole lot of areas in the north, you see desert. So where do they get this population from? This issue must be addressed. If it's not addressed, we'll continue to have this problem of if the north does not give total endorsement to a candidate, the candidate will not win. Just check from 1999. 1999, Obasanjo had the northern this before he could win. He came back again. 2007, when Yaradua came, he's a northerner. He was a northerner, sorry. When he died, there was some funny things. They didn't want Gulojona to take over. It took divine intervention of late Dora Akuyili with that whatever of what do you call this thing then. She brought up one funny matter like that before Goodluck was allowed. Goodluck contested 2015 15 election, believing that he has done well. He has done well in the north, good roads, Almajiri education, nomadic education, this and that. He was giving a lot of preference to development in the north. He was disappointed at last dot, when results came in from places like Borno, where they were claiming millions of votes in desert area. So until that thing is addressed, this issue of lopsidedness in the issue of Nigeria will continue.
This one says ASU begins consultation on next move. What can you make out of this?
The ASU issue, the way I see it, it's like this government, because these days you can become a senator, House of Reps member without attending school one day. They have made it so easy. And why are they making it so easy? Because it's a business concern. Going to represent the people now, it's about business. All those who are making karakara, it's all the money they'll make in it. When you go to the House of Reps, the money they make, you'll be surprised. When you go to the Senate, the same thing. Some of them go there and sleep throughout. They don't stand up one day and make any point, make any contribution. The only thing they do, when the thing comes, so maybe they say, maybe he's sleeping, and they say, yes or no. Somebody will tap him. Okay, yes. So people, they'll keep coming. And they'll use our money to build mansions. One of them in this town, I don't want to mention names, bought off a street. Under 4 years that he was in the National Assembly. So what are you talking about? So all those who are angry to go to the National Assembly, it's about the money involved. I want to be governor, I want to be this. The moment the thing is made unattractive in terms of money coming in, I'm telling you, the right people will come in.
So do you think ASU, they are overreacting as a union? You know, the outcome of the meeting 2 days back, you know, they walked out because there was no different offer.
My sister, my fear about all these things that Nigeria, I think we have a problem of knowing what is our priority.
Okay, what are the advisable solutions to ASU? What are the alternatives, the options?
Because we have a government, there was a time we had this issue of say Yaradua doesn't hear well. He has ear problem. I don't think, Buhari doesn't hear well. Sorry, I say Yaradua. Buhari doesn't hear well. I don't think Buhari is hearing ASU. As far as I'm concerned, Buhari, if this ASU thing continues for 10 years, if he's still there, forget it. I think the best thing ASU should just do now, because of the play of Nigerians, the ASU should just say, okay, we are going back to work. How many months remaining for Buhari to leave government? He's leaving May next year. And something tells me, if Buhari leaves government, he's leaving with his gang of non-performers. And the people coming in, mark me today's date, I think today is 19th of August. Mark it, 2022. The people coming in to replace Buhari, they will be people that God wants to change the system in Nigeria. Look at a country like Ghana. Sorry. Back in those days when I was young, they say Ghana must go. It's we now that go to Ghana. Because Ghana, the people that came in, Jerry Rawlings came in, cleared the whole place of idiots. Of people who are rascals. Sorry, I'm using the language that exists on the. He cleared them, all these corrupt people. And the right people came in. And Ghana is benefiting. something like that will happen to us. Mark me, write it down.
Okay, we have come to the end of the program for today. Thank you, Mr. Isaac, for joining us on the program. We hope to see more of you
Thank you very
joining
much.
us.
I'm grateful.
Okay, as our tradition is, before we end the show, Mr. Isaac, before you is the frame, is Nigeria. You know, as we always say, change begins with you and I. So we'd like you to make a commitment today as to your part when it comes to this change. What you want to see, what you will do as a Nigerian to make this change better as you live here today.
As a Nigerian,
So you could just pledge.
I pledge to play my part as a good citizen of the country. And one of the ways I think I will make this my pledge a commitment is that in the election of 2023, no amount of money from these corrupt politicians will sway me.
Okay.
Enough voting what comes to my mind, with the person that comes to my mind to vote, to help us change this system.
Okay.
And I hope every Nigerian will also take that too as a pledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so we just sign and, you know, just as a seal to your promise. No, you can sit down.
Okay.
Yeah. So you sign as a seal of your promise. So just
Anywhere.
Yes, you can. With your name and your signature.
Today is 19th, is it?
Yes, sir. Okay, once again, thank you, sir. Come to the end of the program, State of the Nation, brought to you by Making News. Do join us same time tomorrow. Have a lovely day.